Honda engineered a hybrid drivetrain for the CR-V that gets 38 miles per gallon combined, and then they did this, the TrailSport. It's got all-terrain tires that reduce fuel economy, increase road noise. It's a bit like buying organic vegetables and deep frying them, but we're gonna get to the bottom of this. What's it like? Buckle up, my friends. Let's go for a drive. I'm your host, Brian Makse, racer, lover of driving fast, fun things. And on this channel, you get reviews for drivers from drivers. Now, most CR-Vs lead tragic lives between school and Costco runs, or worse, in Toronto, they're Ubers. But then this one shows up with orange badges and all-terrain tires like it's ready to conquer Mount Everest. What I care about is whether those all-terrain tires and this sophisticated hybrid system have an impact on what it feels like when you're behind the wheel. And if you're that kind of driver, well, then this episode is for you. In terms of acceleration, well, we're not going to set any records here, but it is quick enough. It does 0 to 60 in the high sevens, maybe 7.8, 7.9. Top speeds electronically limited to 111 miles an hour or so. This hybrid drivetrain is incredibly sophisticated and very clever. And without going into too much complexity about how it works, here's the short version. You've got two electric motors in the 2-liter 4-cylinder. At low speeds, the electric motors drive the wheels directly. At highway speeds, the engine drives the wheels through a direct clutch, while the motors provide assistance or regenerate energy. There's no CVT belt slippage, no torque converter losses. The result is instant response from short stops, smooth highway cruising, and fuel economy that is genuinely surprising. Honda did the hard engineering, so you never have to wonder about how it works, and that's the entire point. And 247 pounds of torque instantly from 0 RPM has a huge effect on how this CR-V drives. This isn't fast by any objective measure, but the electric torque feels different than gasoline torque because it arrives immediately without building through the rev range. Your brain interprets instant response as power even when the total output is relatively modest. And physics doesn't care about your feelings, but your right foot absolutely does, and it's rewarded here. Honda claims 38 miles per gallon combined, or 33 city, with this hybrid drivetrain in the TrailSport. The standard CR-V hybrid with road tires does 40 combined, except here's what the EPA doesn't measure: confidence. And what Honda's doing here is trading a little bit of efficiency for real-world capability, and that's actual engineering instead of just marketing. And refinement is where this hybrid drivetrain earns its development costs, because transition from gasoline motor to electric, vice versa, combined, is all seamless. It's imperceptible unless you're specifically watching the power flow display, which you won't be because you're driving. And yes, it does have simulated gear shifts, but it all enhances the driving experience because it feels more natural and very much Honda-like. It's worth mentioning that the all-wheel drive system is the predictive type, and I've driven this in some nasty weather, and it has been nothing but sure-footed in any kind of weather condition. It uses multiple systems to be predictive about that torque distribution to the rear axle. Subscribers get notified when new episodes drop on this channel. Non-subscribers hope that the YouTube algorithm shows it to them eventually, and if you want to control what you see on YouTube, well, that's what the subscribe button does. Now let's address the elephant in the showroom. This CR-V TrailSport is wearing all-terrain tires, so it shouldn't handle that well, should it? You've got 3,900 pounds, a tall center of gravity, and tires designed for dirt, compromising your on-road grip. Physics says this should understeer like an SCCA spec Miata with alignment problems. Instead, it carves a line willingly, maintains composure through directional changes, and communicates weight transfer through the seat and the steering. Honda engineered a wonderful dynamic package. The suspension is set up perfectly for this TrailSport. It behaves predictably in all conditions all the way up to its limits, which is better than one that pretends it doesn't have any limits. And in the interest of science, I've pushed this harder through corners than it was designed for. Certainly harder through corners than my cardiologist would recommend, but that's why you're here. Electric power steering gets the blame for a lack of steering feel, which is partially true, but also lazy criticism. The CR-V has great on-center feel, and there's actual resistance building as you load the front tires. It's not hydraulic McLaren tactility, but it's honest communication about what the front axle is doing. The ratio is quick enough for parking maneuvers without being nervous at highway speeds. Most crossover buyers will never notice these details, which is fine. They'll subconsciously register that the CR-V feels confident and stable, which is the point of good engineering. It works without having to announce it. The braking is nothing but excellent here, and that is in terms of brake pedal feel. But of course, this is a hybrid, so there is some regenerative braking going on. There are multiple levels of that as well, so that you can adjust your CR-V to the regenerative braking setting of your liking. But overall, I have nothing but praise for the braking system, especially brake pedal feel. The brakes are strong, and I've got precise control over the attitude of the CR-V with just the brake pedal alone. What I really dig about this tire choice on the TrailSport is that they've got a little bit more compliance than you would have with a larger diameter wheel and less sidewall. So these do a great job of absorbing impacts. That translates into a smoother ride, and especially in this part of the world with the nasty road surfaces, really dig this tire choice if it is maybe a little bit louder than what a conventional all-season tire would be. If you want to support the channel beyond just watching, the merch store is open. Lots of cool stuff for driving enthusiasts like us. It means more time producing episodes like this and less time worrying about manufacturer blacklists. Just an option, no pressure. When it comes to the driver interface, Honda has been doing good work for a really long time, and it's one of those things that nobody really notices. The steering wheel shape and size is absolutely perfect, and it's attractive. The pedal spacing is perfect for heel and toe. No, just kidding. This is an automatic. You can't do heel and toe here. The hip point of the seat is perfect for getting in and out, and then you end up with a great relationship to the steering wheel and to the pedals. And the reason the CR-V feels confidence-inspiring behind the wheel, it's actually because Honda looks after all of these details, and I'm seated perfectly here. The updated infotainment system is the first one from Honda in a long while that doesn't make me want to throw it into a lake. The touchscreen responds immediately, no lag, no second guessing your inputs. It does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. The digital gauge cluster is crystal clear, and I can see it perfectly. Visibility in modern crossovers range from acceptable to you might want a backup camera to verify that your mirrors work. Here, though, visibility is excellent. Properly positioned outboard mirrors. You can actually see and get a sense of where the corners of the CR-V are, which matters when you're threading through parking structures or, in my case, setting up for apexes. Interior volume alone justifies why the CR-V is a sales success. It might not be the biggest in the segment, and approximately nobody cares. What matters is usefulness. The cargo floor is completely flat with the seats down, plus the liftover height is extremely low. We did a spare tire check, and because this is a hybrid, there is no spare tire, and you can't even access what's underneath the rear cargo floor. The rear seats, though, they actually recline, which means your passengers might not hate you on road trips. There's more than enough rear legroom for me to sit behind myself in the seating position. Second row space, definitely generous, including headroom both here in the front row as well as the second row. And overall, the CR-V is practical in the same way a chef's knife is practical. It does the job without asking you to think about it. The like button tells YouTube to show this to more people like you. It takes 1 second. And if this episode has given you more insight than just the press release, well, that's the entire ask. Before you buy your new Honda CR-V, we dug deep into what owners are saying on the forums and the subreddits. First, the good news. Interior space and seat comfort are genuinely excellent. Owners consistently rank it above the competition. The cargo capacity leads the segment, and the hybrid system operates smoothly in city driving where it actually delivers the advertised fuel consumption. The improved all-wheel drive system with enhanced traction control below 9 miles an hour works well on dirt roads and loose surfaces. Owners say highway fuel consumption disappoints price. Real-world owners report 27 to 34 miles per gallon on highway-focused driving, significantly below the EPA rating. The hybrid struggles on mountain grades. Owners climbing from Phoenix to Flagstaff report 30% power loss at altitude and the battery depleting on extended climbs, leaving the 145 horsepower Atkinson cycle engine working at 100% just to maintain highway speed. Now, this is a 2026 model, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention the 2023 and 2024 steering rack recall, but we're talking about a 26 here, so don't get all salty in the comments. The infotainment system crashes for many owners, and my experience has been mixed in a week's worth of driving. One more thing that owners discovered: if you're shopping for one of these, you might want to test drive the Accord Hybrid. It's got the same powertrain, costs $5,000 to $6,000 less, achieves a little bit better fuel consumption, accelerates quicker to less weight, and multiple owners report that it's way more fun to drive. Well, with a lower center of gravity, that's to be expected. The CR-V gets you all-wheel drive and easier cargo access. Whether that's worth the price and efficiency penalty is your decision, but most reviews won't tell you the comparison exists. That's owner intel, and if you own one of these or have some serious seat time with one of them, let me know in the comments what I got wrong or what I got right about the ownership experience. And ownership experiences are much more revealing than anything I can learn in a week-long press loan, and I actually read those comments. My verdict, well, let's start with fuel consumption because that is absolutely relevant to this TrailSport. I have settled in after a week worth of highway driving and city driving at 28 miles per gallon, or about 8.2 liters per 100 kilometers for my Canadian friends. Now, about that organic vegetables getting deep fried question from the beginning, well, I have your answer. The Continental all-terrain tires dropped the fuel economy from 38 miles per gallon promised combined to maybe 35 miles per gallon for most owners, definitely 28 for me, and that's a bit of a penalty, which is the equivalent of spending an extra $200 to $400 per year in fuel. In exchange, you get tires that are genuinely more capable on dirt, gravel, and light trail conditions. They're not hardcore, but they're legitimate all-terrain tires with proper tread blocks and reinforced sidewalls. Road noise is a bit of a thing, but it's not that intrusive, maybe 3 to 4 decibels louder. But here's what Honda got right. They didn't try to make this a rock crawler. They made a hybrid crossover that can confidently handle fire roads, camping trips, and Michigan winter without requiring you to switch to dedicated winter tires. If you're someone who actually uses 10% of a vehicle's adventure capability instead of 0%, the TrailSport Hybrid makes sense. If you bought this for the aesthetic, you just paid $2,000 more for orange badges and worse fuel economy. That's the 2026 Honda CR-V TrailSport Hybrid. Subscribe if you want to see more episodes like this. Don't if you don't. Comment if you think I got anything wrong. And if you want to support the channel, well, hit up the merch store to fund more episodes like these. See you on the next one.